Among the renowned names in the arm wrestling world, Denis Cyplenkov stands out as a legendary figure. Known for his impressive physique and undeniable skills, Cyplenkov has dominated the sport for years. You might wonder what's the secret of this Ukrainian Hulk that helps him win against big names? In this video, we dive into Cyplenkov's unique technique and explore the secret weapon this arm wrestling titan used to win a match. Arm wrestling is a true power sport and full of absolute physical beasts. It is a thrilling sport that tests the raw strength, technique, and strategy of competitors. But there is one arm wrestler who is in a completely different league when it comes to physicality, and that is none other than Denis Cyplenkov. His approach to arm wrestling is strategic, relying on his ability to read and adapt to his opponent's movement. He analyzes his opponent's weaknesses and vulnerabilities and adjusts his technique accordingly. Also, the years of experience and technical knowledge enables him to make split-second decisions. Thus, he executes precise movements with incredible accuracy. Born in 1982 in Kryvyi Rog, Ukraine, it was only in high school that Denis really started to take strength sports seriously. In 1993, Denis was in his mid-teens when he started training with kettlebells and increasing his overall strength in a very effective manner. Contrary to popular belief, Cyplenkov did not come from an athletic family nor had any pro athletes in the family, but he undoubtedly had the right genetic gifts to excel in strength sport. Did you know Cyplenkov competed in powerlifting as well? His personal records include 750 pounds in deadlift with straps, 705 pounds squat, and 595 pounds bench press. So it is easy to say that he really had the foundation for any type of power and strength sport. He also has the heaviest strict curl record in the world. Soon, Denis noticed that he was doing very well in upper body strength events, but lacked the level of lower body strength that the powerlifters brought to the table, thus not excelling at lower body events. Denis had his first real taste of arm wrestling in 1996 at age 14. He has large hands, solid fingers, and insane grip strength. Very thick, strong, and long, perfect for the sport of arm wrestling. Add on top of this his strength level, and he was destined to have a future in the sport. 2008 was the year when the entire arm wrestling world started saying the name Denis Cyplenkov, as Denis came onto the scene like a ferocious testosterone-filled bear, devouring everything in his way. By winning the left-hand tournament at the World Cup, standing at 6 feet 1 inch tall and weighing over 300 pounds, Cyplenkov's massive frame gives him a significant advantage over most opponents. His immense size allows for greater leverage and stability, making it challenging for opponents to overcome his sheer power. Denis Cyplenkov's hands are considered to be the biggest in the world. He is known for having the biggest arms in Ukraine and possibly the thickest hands in the world. He also holds the Guinness record for having the largest bicep circumference, measuring an astounding 25 inches. His palm width is twice the radius of a normal hand. His fingers are each the thickness of 2 fingers from a normal human being, and his wrist is an astonishing 9.5-inch circumference, which is especially beneficial when it comes to arm wrestling and strength. You might have seen a video of him breaking walnuts in one hand using only his thumb and index finger in a pinch grip. This hand structure is also one of his strongest weapons. It allows him to pull in a style that is very effective against a lot of wrestlers. One key aspect of Denis Cyplenkov's arm wrestling style is his preference for the top roll technique. The top roll involves utilizing hand control and superior hand positioning to weaken opponents' grips while gaining leverage. His hand and shoulder strength come in handy while doing this. To counter this technique, opponents must work on strengthening their wrists and fingers to withstand the immense pressure applied by Cyplenkov's hand. He has often used brute strength and a type of tricep-focused chopping motion to beat his opponents. Also, Denis Cyplenkov is known for having a unique physical characteristic in his hand, specifically his thumb. His thumb is attached lower on his hand compared to the average person. This anatomical difference gives Cyplenkov a distinct advantage in arm wrestling. Having a lower attachment point for the thumb allows Cyplenkov to generate a greater amount of leverage and control over his opponent's hand and wrist. This positioning enables him to apply more force and torque, making it exceptionally challenging for opponents to resist his grip. Furthermore, the lower attachment of his thumb allows Cyplenkov to execute the top roll technique more effectively. With his unique thumb placement, Cyplenkov can exert even more pressure and destabilize his opponent's grip, increasing his chances of victory. But a disadvantage of Denis' thumb attaching so low on his hand is that it could potentially make him more susceptible to being forced into a hook. His matches often start with a deeper grip with more wrist on wrist instead of palm on palm. The thicker your hand and the wrist is, the more difficult it will be for your opponent to force you into a hook. While Cyplenkov may occasionally employ elements of the hook technique in certain situations, like when facing opponents with strong wrists, his overall style predominantly revolves around the top roll. His emphasis lies in overpowering opponents through hand and wrist control, rather than relying on a hook-based approach. Denis frequently utilizes a high hook, which involves hooking the opponent's hand and wrist and driving downwards with immense force. This technique is particularly effective against opponents with weaker wrists or smaller hands, thus using his size and power to his advantage. When asked about his opinion of the best rules possible for arm wrestling, Denis said he would prefer to start the wrists in a hook position so that everyone starts on an even position. He believes this would be a truly fair start and not lead to any discussion about an unfair hand position in the start of the match. It's also important to take a look at his workout plan. Denis Cyplenkov's workout plan is highly specialized for arm wrestling, focusing on building massive arms and upper body strength. He trains 6 days a week, focusing on high-volume training with heavy weights. He also incorporates grip training and wrist exercises to improve his arm wrestling technique. He incorporates a variety of exercises to target each muscle group from different angles, and uses heavy weights with high volume to stimulate muscle growth. As arm wrestling requires strong wrist and grip strength, grip training is also a crucial component of his workout plan. One of the most talked about matches of the past is the famous match between Denis Cyplenkov and Devon Larratt at the Vendetta All-Stars arm wrestling event. There was a huge build-up towards this match, as it was a type of East versus West arm wrestling showdown. Devon Larratt is the perfect triad of skill, strength, and endurance. He is an animal in the sport. He can arm wrestle longer than anybody alive. His endurance is insane, his strength is undeniable, and he's been arm wrestling for a very long time, therefore skilled. And don't forget, Larratt received worldwide fame after his win against the legendary John Brzenk in 2008. Will Devon make a comeback this time? Let us know in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you wouldn't miss another update.